So today we're going to be going over how to add duration to our down or any other stationary command. Now, if you follow my channel, you may have seen a video called the 3 Ds of dog training. That's duration, distance, and distraction. That's the formula that we want to teach anything to dogs. Now, duration simply refers to the idea of how long the dog can hold the position. In the beginning, we're asking the dog to hold that position while we're right next to them. And then we start adding in distance and then distractions at the end. So this video is going to cover how we extend that time frame that they can hold that position. Now, in the beginning, we're going to be using treats, and we're going to be using lots of them. However, that's just for this foundation process. It's just for building up that habit. As you know, everything in dog training is about building habits and routines, and treats are a great motivator to help do that. In the beginning, Zeus was not a treat motivated dog. However, we have since found treats that work for him, and so we're going to be using those to help us extend that duration that Zeus can hold that position. Now, it's important to note that Zeus has no problem with sitting. His problem is the down position. He's doing great with it. However, because that was the position that he was having difficulty with, I'm going to start off with that position. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get him into the down position, and then I'm going to start shoveling treats in his mouth. However, I want to do this strategically. So I'm not just randomly shoving the treats in his mouth. There's a few criteria. A, if he gets up from this position, I'm not going to give him a treat when I get him back down. I don't want to reward the wrong behavior. So if he gets up, I'm just going to bring him right back, put him into the down position, and we're going to start over again like nothing happened. If I still want to reward him for his hard work after he's gotten up, I'm going to bring him back, put him into that down position, and I might ask him to do something simple like, look at me. Yes. Yes, good boy. Something really simple like that so that I can reward him, but so that it's very clear in his mind that I'm not rewarding him for getting up. I'm rewarding him for that secondary behavior that I asked of him. The second criteria is that I'm working at his pace. Now that he's learned how to get into the down position, he still has a difficult time with staying there for an extended period of time. So what I'm doing in the beginning is, because I know that he has a difficult time, I'm doing it every 3 to 5 seconds. I'm only going to do this for a little while. However, I'm going to start to extend the time period in between treats. So the first few times, I might have given him to him every 3 to 5 seconds. However, now that we've gone through a few treats, I'm waiting every 5 to 8 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. If he should happen to have a difficult time with this, then I might drop back down to 3 to 5 seconds. I might even drop down to 1 to 2 seconds depending on the dog. But Zeus is doing a really good job here, just hanging out in the down position. And again, I'm rewarding him for that. So in order to add that duration, I want to do this as much as possible. Again, we go back to the 3 Ds of dog training: duration, distance, and distractions. So I'm not going to ask him to stay in a down position while we're outside of the gas station right now. Not going to happen. Zeus is a good dog, but he's still young. He's still a puppy, and this is still pretty new to him. So I want to keep distractions to a minimum while we're working on this phase. Even after he gets fantastic at it, what I'm going to start doing is throwing in distance first. Then I'm going to start doing it in public locations where there's increasingly more distractions. Now, for some dogs, this is a challenging situation, even with me standing right here. That's why, if you notice, I have a long leash on Zeus. And that's because if he should happen to get up and go run over there, I have him secured right over here, so I don't have to chase him around the yard and all of that stuff, because what we want to keep in mind is that he's still a puppy. He's a bigger puppy, but he's still a puppy. So that means that if he gets up and goes over there and I go to chase him, he could very easily decide that this is a game and he wants to continue the game. So even if I get him and I bring him back, he might decide that he wants to start jumping up and running that way every single time that he goes down, because he wants to continue that game. So in order to combat that, again, I have him on a long line. So if he does jump up and start going in that direction, I can just recall him over to me and we can start over again. I'm always looking for training opportunities as well. So if he does get up and go, that is a great opportunity for me to practice the recall. I have the long line on. One thing that I want to keep in mind is that when I do recall him back over to me, I'm going to have him lay down again. Like I said, he doesn't get a treat because he didn't do what I was asking. If you watch the last video that Zeus appeared in, this was before we found a treat that works for him. We worked on the recall cue without treats. So that's gonna be something that we're gonna apply if he happens to get up and go over there. Now we're just practicing an automatic recall using the long line. So I would recommend practicing this in the house first, build it up for there, and then you can start practicing it outside.